The date is 2026-06-13. This is the executive lens. The biggest story today is the administration's move on childhood vaccine recommendations, a shift that could affect federal guidance, state-level policy debates, and how parents hear official public health advice. According to the White House document titled Realigning United States Core Childhood Vaccine Recommendations with Best Practices from Peer-Developed Countries, the administration says it is changing the federal approach to core childhood vaccine recommendations. The White House frames the move as an effort to align U.S. practice more closely with peer-developed countries. That is significant because federal recommendations often shape what clinicians advise, what insurers cover, and how public health agencies communicate risk and timing to families. The practical importance is not just medical, but administrative. When the federal government changes how it presents vaccine guidance, it can ripple through agency messaging, school and workplace policies, and the broader public conversation about immunization. The White House document does not, by itself, resolve how every state or health system will respond, but it does signal a deliberate shift in executive branch posture on a highly visible public health issue. For agencies, the question now is how quickly implementation details follow and whether other departments issue matching guidance.
The administration also continues to use trade policy as a major economic lever. According to the White House proclamation titled Further Adjusting the Tariff Regimes for Imports of Aluminum, Steel, and Copper into the United States, the White House is again changing tariff treatment for those metals. That matters because these inputs sit inside supply chains for manufacturing, construction, energy, and defense-related production. Even without immediate consumer-facing language in the proclamation, the policy can affect sourcing decisions, contract pricing, and cost expectations across multiple sectors. On the government actions front, the White House has now formally advanced the childhood vaccine recommendation change through an executive branch document, which means agencies will need to translate policy into guidance, communications, and operational practice. The White House has also continued its tariff adjustments on aluminum, steel, and copper, reinforcing that industrial trade policy remains active and central to the administration's economic agenda.
Here is the story most people missed. According to the White House document titled Restoring American Commercial Fishing in the Pacific, the administration is also moving on Pacific fishing policy. That may sound narrow, but it can matter for federal permitting, regional fisheries management, and coastal economies that depend on access rules and enforcement decisions. It is a reminder that executive action is not only about the headline issues, it also reaches into sector-specific policy where small changes can have outsized local effects. What to watch today? First, whether the White House or HHS releases implementation details on the vaccine recommendation change. Second, whether industry groups or importers respond to the latest metal tariff adjustments with pricing or supply chain warnings. Third, whether the Pacific fishing action draws any reaction from regional officials or fishing stakeholders. That is the executive lens for 2026-06-13. Sources in the episode notes. Back tomorrow.